Well, they found him guilty. Now jurors are explaining how they were convinced to convict Raynaldo Ortiz. He is the Dallas anesthesiologist who poisoned patients' IV bags in 2022, nearly killing at least 4 people. We've got Andrea Lucia, who's covered this unusual case from the start, Andrea, and I know this must have been quite an experience for the jury, to say the least.
Absolutely. A TV show, a documentary, a movie. The jurors that we sat down with used all of those words to describe their initial impression of this courtroom drama that was playing out in front of them. But in the end, they say it sunk in that this was all very, very real.
I was like, for sure, like, I'm not getting picked. Like, I'm too young to be here. Please let me go home.
And then the next thing you know, like, okay, you're picked. We'll go start opening statements. We're getting started. And I was like, oh, I wasn't ready for this.
Madison Lee, Sofia De La Garza, Valerie Medina, and John Patterson had never served on a jury before getting handed the task of deciding not just any trial, but a federal criminal case making headlines. Did you feel like there were a lot of eyes on you?
Yes. It's funny because every time someone would say something, I could feel like people would look at us. So if there was a new piece of evidence that came out or a heart-stopping comment from a witness, I feel like everybody at that point was kind of like, what does the jury think about this? You know?
Yeah.
The panel saw the medical records from Baylor Scott & White Surgicare in North Dallas. They watched the surveillance video of Dr. Raynaldo Ortiz handling IV bags, and they listened to the testimony from doctors and patients whose surgeries ended in emergencies.
It's hard, it's medicine, something that we don't really know a lot about, but they both, the prosecution and the defense, offered a lot of information for me personally that I took into account.
Okay, so let's talk about the evidence. What did you guys feel was the strongest evidence? Was there one thing that stuck with you and kind of clinched it?
Well, for sure, the video where we see him kind of like hiding behind a pillar, taking several vials and syringes. Yeah.
That was such a wow moment I think for everybody. Yeah, we were all like, wow, like what really can you be doing? Because
like him checking and like looking and like doing back and forth and circling, and it's just like, I remember being a kid, and if I did something bad, like that's something I would do.
The anesthesia records where it showed when the new IV bag would be put in, that one was also like, okay, like this is too, like, it's happening too much, like too common for it to keep on happening for this patient, for it like just to be a coincidence.
And the physical hole in the bag itself.
Yeah.
That was already the nail in the coffin.
The defense attorneys impressed the jury. These jurors, though, wish Ortiz himself had taken a stand to explain his actions.
I just really wish we could have heard from him. I wish he did testify.
He would glance at us often through, right, because we're staring straight at him, right? So, but he would not show any emotion to videos, testimonies, and then he had this mask on the whole time. So, and he didn't even engage with his counsel that much, really every once in a while, so he was just kind of in the room.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge.
After 8 days of listening, they were ready to deliberate.
And to be fair, going in there, not everybody, because we took a vote on Thursday just to kind of see where everybody was before we even started the deliberation, and not everybody was on the same page.
One person, they say, voted not guilty. When they returned the next day, 2 more people expressed doubts. Like, not guilty or unsure? Like,
just unsure.
Unsure. They were still leaning more towards guilty, but they were still unsure. They still wanted to go through the process thoroughly to make sure they were making the right decision.
We were all very, reassuring in the sense where we all just wanted to make sure, hey, if you have any concerns, let us know. We'll, we'll break it down. We'll go over it so you don't have that concern anymore.
So they reviewed everything, reconstructed the chain of events, and even asked to hold an IV bag in their hands to see and feel the hole left behind by a needle loaded with nerve-blocking agents.
So we were able to look at the video, look at the anesthesia report, and then do our timeline on the whiteboard. So we were able to see all 3 at the exact same time and kind of walked ourselves through the whole process.
Even though we'd heard that evidence for the past 2 weeks, we still went back and pretty much did a little mini trial over again.
And even though some of us may have had some opinions, we still played like devil's advocate in the sense to where we would question it and push the envelope and boundaries. Well, what if it was this or this?
After about 6 hours of deliberating over 2 days, all 12 jurors decided Ortiz was guilty.
But when we pulled out the piece of paper for the verdict and we all started going around, okay, raise your hand if you think it's guilty. And so at that point, we're literally putting pen to paper saying that, you know, John, this guy's guilty. You know, Valerie, this guy's guilty. You know, so it definitely hits home that, you know, you're impacting someone's life.
I mean, we're looking at this man and we're seeing like how our decision affects him, but his decision affected all the people that we heard testimonies from, all these people who could have potentially died and one who did. Like, it's hard, and I mean, but sometimes doing the right thing is hard, and that's what we had to do.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, each of the jurors that sat down with us agreed that any one piece of evidence on its own, in fact, any one of the 4 cases of poisonings that Ortiz was convicted of would not have been enough to find him guilty. It was all the pieces together forming a pattern that was just too strong to ignore. Ortiz will be sentenced on July 22nd, and we will be there.
You know, Andrea, it's fascinating to hear from them because, again, this was a federal case. We were not allowed in terms of cameras inside the courtroom. So it's clear that they took their civic duty very seriously. But you mentioned they were impressed by his attorneys. So what exactly was Ortiz's defense in this case?
Yeah, well, his attorneys raised a lot of theories about what could have caused the patient's emergencies, pointing out that it could have been typical complications or even medical mistakes. They also questioned the testing of the drugs inside the IV bags, but the jurors said none of it could explain so many emergencies in such a short amount of time.